Welcome back to Never Done Ask with me, John Martin, and we have another station review. I'm going to start off with an apology here, or two apologies, in case you can hear the rodeo that my downstairs neighbours seem to be having. The other apology is that my bridge camera, which is what I normally use for filming, threw a bit of a fit when I brought it home from my trip to Wales. So I went out with my DSLR camera instead, which I only tend to use for photos. It has both more video settings and isn't known for being great at videos having a particularly unstable autofocus. And only had a really a day turnaround, most of which I spent rescuing images off the SD card from the bridge camera. So this is the first of a bunch of videos from a trip where the camera keeps going out of focus. Though hopefully it'll also give me the opportunity to learn how to fix exposure in post using DaVinci Resolve. So here we are in northwest England, in Cumbria, on the Furness line for Cark and Cartmel station, which isn't what it says on signs. More of that later. Cark station is on the Cartmel Peninsula. It's between the villages of Cark to the north and Fflwchbro to the south. Ravenstown is further to the southwest, Cartmel is to the northeast, and Ulthwaite is to the east. The station serves these villages. Going all out on the unsurprising road names, this station is reached by Station Road, which runs to the south of the station, and Station Approach, which is a dead-end road to the north. The station sits on the Furness line. Kentsbank station is 2 miles to the east, and Ulverston is 5.5 miles to the west over the Leven Viaduct. The first person to plan a steam railway on the Cartmel Peninsula was one George Stephenson. Yeah, the locomotion guy. Railway 200. He believed that any railway that was to link Lancashire with Carlisle and Scotland would have to run around the coast to avoid steam locomotives running over the fells, which were apparently too steep for trains. Much better to build a viaduct across the sand from what is now Morecambe to Humphrey Head, only a couple of miles from the current station. This plan would have the added benefit of getting rid of vast swathes of beautiful coastal landscape. Thankfully, nobody listened, and the Furness Railway was running iron ore and slate from their mines to their port in Barrow, and then made a connection to Ulverston, the capital of the area. Meanwhile, the locals were unwilling to finance a line linking Ulverston to the rest of Lancashire over the bay, with its harsh currents and tides. John Brogden was an industrialist based in Manchester whose ventures ranged from street cleaning to railway contracting and mining. His company's new mines were in the Furness Peninsula, and he promoted a new line to link the Furness Railway, which he also had an interest in, with Lancaster. The Ulverston and Lancaster Railway gained royal assent in July 1851, and despite work not starting until 1853, the line was opened in 1857. This was a costly venture, with the 2 long viaducts over the Kent and Leven rivers, and had required personal loans from local landowners. Eventually, the line started making money, and while the London and North Western was prowling, the line was sold to the Furness Railway, who viewed it as crucial to the development of Barrow-in-Furness. The station here was opened on the 1st of September 1857. The station name is something of a conundrum. It was opened as Cark and Cartmel and underwent a number of name changes. Trying to work out when each name change happened isn't helped where there isn't clear information online, and even the name of this station currently is some kind of disagreement. At various times it has been Cark and Cartmel, and Cark in Cartmel. It was opened as Cark in Cartmel. The station was renamed a number of times, including those ones I just said. Supposedly, the current name was adopted in 1984. However, the signs, which are modern, they just call this Cark. However, the Network Rail site calls this Cark and Cartmel. Northern's latest map calls it Cark. Either way, Flupra, which is just as close to the station as Cark is, and larger, never gets a mention. Anybody who has a theory of why this is, there's a comment section that's waiting for an argument. Close to the station is Hooker Hall, which was owned by the Dukes of Devonshire. The great Stan Laurel's aunt and uncle ran a grocer shop in Flupra, and young Stan, who lived with his grandparents in Ulverston while his parents toured theatrical shows, was a frequent visitor here by train. The Department for Transport classed this as an F2 category station, the smallest, least used category of station. There are two side platforms linked by an overbridge. The down platform is 93 metres long, with 45 of that out of use, and the up platform is 85 metres, with another 71.5 out of use. Marks for services, 2 out of 10. Northern run trains along the line. The routine service is roughly Lancaster to Barrow in Furness, but some services extend south from Lancaster to Manchester Airport, and others head north from Barrow to Carlisle along the Cumbrian coastline, replacing a Barrow to Carlisle service. However, at the time of visiting, the tunnel into Whitehaven had collapsed, so northbound services were only running into Corkhill. Say that 7 times. With a reduced service which had a knock-on effect on some of the through trains. Barrow is 25 minutes away, Ulverston is 7, Grange over Sands is 7 minutes away, Lancaster 34 minutes away, Manchester Piccadilly is an hour and 3/4 away. The most popular destination is Ulverston with 8,845 journeys, followed by Barrow, Lancaster, Grange over Sands and Manchester Piccadilly. From the 2023 to 24 numbers, Cark and Cartmel had 84,822 entries and exits, working out at 232 passengers a day. There were 273 scheduled services per week, which puts us just under 6 passengers per service. Passenger numbers were increasing before COVID, and post-COVID numbers actually exceeded them. Marks for onward travel, 1 out of 5. The 5:30 bus runs by the station. There are 2 services in the morning that run to Kendal via Grange over Sands, and 2 return services in the evening that run to Cartmel. Marks for accessibility, 6 out of 10. The station is unstaffed, however there are displays and announcements. Travel between platforms is by way of a footbridge with no lifts. However, both platforms are level access from the street. The Barrow-bound platform is accessed from Station Road, and the Lancaster-bound platform from Station Approach. The distance between the 2 platforms this way is about 400 metres. Marked for station facilities, 3 out of 10. There's a ticket machine here, and some very substantial shelters, much more substantial than the average bus style shelter. We have a small car park with 10 spaces, but according to the ever unreliable Network Rail site, there are no accessible spaces. So I'm not sure what that accessible space next to the entrance of the Barrow-bound platform is meant to be. Also, the cycle storage and higher information is contradictory. Great job again there, Network Rail. There are no toilet facilities here. Marked for care and character, 14 out of 20. It's a nice station to wait at. The station building is in existence, but not in railway use. And across from it on the other, near the other platform, behind the other platform in fact, is an old goods warehouse. Both add character to the station. There are lots of floral displays and even trees on the platform. There are some colourful pieces of artwork around, But on the other hand, there are some signs of decay, but certainly not as much as on other stations on this line. The old station clock is now just a faded face with no hands, and as a home, purposefully or not, for insects. The ironwork of the bridge is elegant, so it seems to be a shame that so much of the car park next to the platform plays host to giant dumpsters, as these aren't from the station. Marks for nearby things, 2 out of 10. If you want a combination of countryside and villages, then Cark and Cartmel has both of them. Both Cark and Flugva have pubs about half a mile from the station and village shops. There are some holiday homes and parks just a bit further afield, and the River E flows through Cark and reaches the Lever estuary about a mile from the station. Holker Hall and Gardens is about a mile walk to the north of Cark, and Cartmel Racecourse is about 2 miles to the northeast. Overall, we get 28 out of 65, which is 43%. It's a nice little station, but with little connectivity or things to do, so it doesn't get a particularly high mark. And now we're waiting on a station with no toilet facilities. Northern provided us with a late running train with broken facilities. Northern, that's another fine mess you've got me into. The next video will actually be in focus, and the next video from the Cumbria trip will be out sometime next year. But where will they both be from? Well, there's only one way to find... okay, there are multiple ways. But Tuesday, noon uploads, station reviews. Once again, thank you for watching this as I travel around the country. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified of the next station review. I've been John Martin. I'll see you next time.